Alright, so as you can see, we found some rank 3 spiders, and those are going to carry us up to a higher level than those rank 1 spiders could. We also actually have, if you look back here, some rank 7 spiders, which I believe is the highest rank that you can reach in God's Reach, like the highest level monster you're going to find. So I'll go ahead and show you on the map where we're at, just in case you're playing on a God's Reach that has the same map. Alright, so we're up at the top of the Blightwoods, and this is going to be a good spot to farm for now. So I'm going to go ahead and drop out a mount, and I'm going to go ahead and hop into the stealth tray to see if I can ambush. So let's try using... Alright, you can see I just used a retaliate to get out of the CC it put me in. And now I'm using my abilities to do higher damage. So essentially, this is just like when we were farming the rank 1 spiders, except, you know, these are higher rank ones that I can get a little bit more experience from. So I'm just going to keep farming these until I've maxed out experience with them, or I might go farm in another spot because we've got somebody else farming right here right now, and I don't really want to compete. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut until I've gotten as high as I want to get. Alright, so I've hit rank 9, which the experience I'm getting from these rank 3 spiders is much, much lower now, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with them because it's just not worth it anymore. But if you're like me, you can see down in my tray I only have 4 bandages left, so I've used most of the bandages that I've gathered in those crates earlier on. So if you run out of bandages and you're past the beachhead, not all is lost. I went ahead and gathered some knotwood. And I'm going to go ahead and go into my crafting. We're going to look up survivalist, and then we're going to build ourselves a bandage. Alright, so now I have an additional bandage that can be used. And as you can see, the new one is actually a little bit stronger than the old one, so that's going to help out quite a bit. And you can go ahead and just make as many bandages as you want with the knotwood that you have. Knotwood's pretty easy to gather, so there's no really reason to be running without, you know, at least 10 bandages at all times. So now that I've leveled up off of those spiders, and I've built myself a little bit of bandages, we've got some good talents going on, we're progressing pretty good, so I think at this point I'm going to go and I'm going to try fight some Wartribes. And Wartribes are something that you don't really want to fight by yourself, but you want to fight as a group. So I've got a guild that can actually help me out with that. If you don't have a guild, you might advertise in faction chat, hey, gonna go do some Wartribes, anybody willing to help me with that? And you're going to try and run in there and do it as a group, because the Wartribe mobs are much stronger than their rank might suggest. They're only rank 5 mobs, but they just have a much higher AI, and they've actually got some buffs and good abilities and everything. So they're going to be kind of hard to take on your own. So gather up a group. You know, if you've got a guild, talk to your guild members, and then go out there and do it as a group. Or this is pretty optional step of the tutorial. The reason that I want to go do Wartribes is because Wartribes drop disciplines, and I've actually got the ability to take a minor discipline right now, but I don't really have anything that I want to slot there yet. So if I go out there and I do these Wartribes, then I can get a discipline to throw into that slot, make my character a little bit stronger. If you can't have a really hard time getting a group or something, you could just skip straight to higher rank mobs and continue leveling that way. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it until we've got a group together and we're ready to do those Wartribes. Alright, so we're out here at a Wartribe with 3 of us taking down things together. We've got somebody who can heal, we've got a couple DPS. So essentially, if you see any of the loot of these guys, you're going to see that it's much better loot than we're getting from any of the other stuff that we were killing earlier. We have the option to get disciplines, we're going to get some decent crafting resources. Um, but you can also see that these guys are pretty tough. They've got crowd control options. They've got good movement. They're no pushovers, so you definitely want to be working in a group like this. Like, you can see one of our guys is pretty low health even working together like this. So the reason that I chose to do the Wartribes right now is you can see that they're rank 5, and because they're rank 5, I'm getting experience from these kills. So it makes it a good time to go in and do it at about this level if you've got a good enough group to do it at this level. That way you can push to higher levels by getting these good mobs with the good drops and everything. Kind of kill two birds with one stone in terms of leveling and also getting loot. So I'm going to go ahead and fight out here until I stop getting good experience from these guys, and then I'm probably going to go finish on those R7 spiders. So let's go ahead and skip forward to the point that I'm done with these. So now I've gone ahead and I've leveled up to level 17, which appears to be the highest level you can get from the war camps. The last level was pretty slow in terms of the levels before it, but actually because I was with a good group, I was leveling so fast I went ahead and just pushed until I couldn't get any more XP from it. So at this point, I'm a level 17 character, and I've got some points to put into my talent tree. I think this is a good time to talk about the part where you actually choose a specialization within your class. So essentially, once you get to this point here where you can go ahead and take your first major, and you've taken like that last point before it branches out into 3 different points, once you take one of these, you can't go down any of these other lines. So for the duelist, what we're looking at is a DPS-oriented tree, a stealth-oriented tree, and then a tanky CC tree. So I kind of want to go with the tanky CC tree based on what I have in mind for this character. So I'm going to go ahead and put a point into persistent, and that's going to make me a dirge. So now it's telling me that once I get into this line, I can't go with the other 2 lines. That's kind of a permanent thing. I can only go with the dirge from now on, but that's fine. I'm ready to do that. So here we go. I've opened up the dirge tree, and I can go ahead and start putting points into dirge abilities to make my character stronger. So essentially what I'm working with in terms of the dirge tree is I've got abilities that make me a little bit more tanky, and I also have abilities that increase my ability to do CC. And I'm probably going to fully spec this line. But so whatever concept you're going with your character, you want to think about it a little bit, read about it, maybe ask some people. Because like one of the things that is a problem in the current state of the game is it didn't tell you, though I know from talking with other people, that because I went dirge, I can wear chainmail now. Where if I would have gone with the Vanguard Scout or the Slayer, I would only be able to wear leather armor. So that's a pretty important thing. You kind of want to talk to people and figure out what you're going to do, and the kind of hidden passives you're going to get from speccing into these different trees. And with that, pretty much the only thing that I have left to do to get this character where I want him to be is I need to go back to those rank 7 spiders, and I need to kill those until I've leveled up as far as I can. So you can see right now I'm near one of those little brown spots, and those brown spots I've noticed is where the tribes reside. And I need to go back over to the Blightwood that I pointed out earlier, and I'm going to get those rank 7 spiders to level up. So let's go ahead and skip to that. Alright, so we're back in the Blightwood, and we're near the R7 spiders. So I'm going to be getting ready to do the final leveling on this character, but before I do, there's one last thing that I'm going to try to get going here. So at this point in the alpha, we can just create major disciplines, and I have a slot to slot one. So I'm going to try to pick something that's going to fit well with this kind of tanky, short-range brawler guy. And I think what that's going to be is we're going to go with the Force Mage, which will push people away, and it will also give him a little bit of ability to enhance his damage and absorb some damage. So all around, it's really good for the type of build that he's going for. So we make that, and I'm going to go ahead and slot it into my discipline slot. We have one open major discipline. And so the difference between, say, a major discipline and a minor discipline is you're going to notice I get a lot of abilities out of Force Mage. So when I go in there, we have kinetic boost that empowers and briefly increases your damage by 20% power efficiency. Alright, so that's a damage boost, and that's going to work really well. So let's go ahead and stick that in there. Force Wave pushes enemies away from you, inflicting damage. We'll go ahead and put that in there. And we're going to have some new passives too. Reckoning empowers your barriers to explode when they expire, wrecking nearby enemies. And it also... Reactive Barrier grants it a chance for attacks to generate a force shield. Okay. So basically, a little bit of tank, a little bit of damage, quite a bit of pushing people away from myself. And so I'm going to go ahead and slot all that up where I can. And then I'm going to be ready to do the final leveling against these rank 7 spiders.